It's pond maintenance time in the summer here in Minnesota, and what I'm doing is draining the pond. And as the water lowers, I'm catching the koi and putting them in my koi trough here. There's a few of them hanging out in there just waiting for their new freshwater pond. So you can see the lily pads are showing themselves there because the water's going down. This year I did a new low profile brick formation around the pond so the water would be flush. I'll show you that again when I fill the pond back up. Here is the filter pond. You can see how deep that is. It's about 3.5 feet deep, and I simply picked up this and I'm draining the pond into the yard, and when I fill it back up I'll pick that up and put it back in the filter pond. And here's the lid for it here. I made a homemade lid out of that new decking material that's like fake plastic wood so it would never rot, and it's upside down right now. Here is the new koi cave. It's huge, and then I put a flap in front of it so the sun wouldn't get in there and like no predators could get in, and then my plants won't get in there either because with the water flow. So here's some fishies waiting to get out and join their friends in the koi trough. So we'll catch you up in a minute. Okay, so now the pond is drained and clean. Here's all the koi fish hanging out in the little koi trough. Just kind of waiting to see what's happening. You can see I got 3 lily pads there, and I got 4 aerators, and I have rocks over them so they don't get bumped and moved. 1, 2, 3, and there's one over there. So go around here and all emptied out. You can see there's my pump all clean and ready to go. I'll just show you the koi cave. This is so they can go hide out of the sun and if any predators come. It's pretty big and deep in there. And then here's the little flap I made, so that way my plants don't come floating down and go into it. They stop, and then it's just no sun can go in there, so the water will go right up to that. I just did a new low profile edging around here, and then you can see I have a water pump. Part of my watering system, it goes right off of here and it goes up that shepherd's hook into there, so it fills my water fountain up twice a day for like 2 minutes to clean it out, and it's on a timer, so that like goes from about 6 a.m. until 10 p.m. and then it shuts off. But my pond runs forever, and there's another hose that comes off of the sprinkler system. It's in here, can't see it right now, but it fills the pond up for 2 minutes twice a day for fresh water also. So what I'm gonna do is I'll get my pump back into the filter pond here. All I do is pick this up and I zip tied it to this little piece of plastic that goes around a tree, and that way it shoots down into the pond. I got some rocks around there. That way it keeps it in place. So the water comes out of that end of the pond over there, and it sucks it up and shoots it into the filter pond and down the waterfall, and then the water circulates around. That way I get constant flowing. And then here is my homemade filter. Pretty genius idea. The boys helped plan how to design this. It's just a laundry bag filled with sponges, and the sponges are the ones you find at Home Depot. They're about 4 feet long, and they're for the gutter, to keep leaves out of your gutters. So we just cut it up into 4-inch chunks and we throw it in there, and that is my biological filter. So the water goes down and it passes through all these sponges, and then clean water comes up and down the waterfall. So once a month I can just take this bag of sponges out and hose it off, and I have a second one, it's like over there. That way I just let it dry out so like bugs don't live in it. And yeah, then I just suck the water out of the filter pond and put fresh water in there. It's just an easy way to maintain and clean your pond. So I will start filling the pond up and let the fishies go back in next. Here's another very important thing to do for your pond. I have a bottle of algicide, and I'm going to pour that in my filter pond and let that cycle through the pond. And that will kill any algae blooms like string algae, just green algae, stuff that makes it hard to see the fish. And then chlorine remover plus. That is very important to take the chlorine out of the water. So I'm going to just pour those right in the pond. And these are safe for fish and for pond plants. That way they're nice and diluted into the water, and then once it starts filling up, it'll be safe for the fishies to swim in. Okay, now the pond is filled up, and you can see the new low profile brick formation. That way the water is flush with the brick line. It's a lot nicer and cleaner looking. The koi cave is filled up, and then you can see that flap, it just hangs down so no plants can seep back into the koi cave. That's very important because they're just going to die and rot if they go back in there. And you can see there's the water pump under there, and fishies are all swimming around and happy in the cave, or in the pond. Let's see here. You can see the air stones, right? There's one right there. There's one right there. And then the third one is there. And the fourth one is there. The koi love the air stones, and they love the waterfall. You see a nice little water fountain there. Nice snowy mountain ash above it. Fish just love swimming around the pond plants also, which are just barely starting to grow because it's early summer here. It's the beginning of June. And the fish are probably getting hungry, so I should feed them pretty soon. Nice little waterfall action. See, there's the lid on top of the filter pond now. That way everything is nice and clean. Nice, neat, and clean. Another reason why I wanted to redo the pond and put a low profile with the bricks is because pretty soon little froggies are going to start coming around and swimming and hanging out in the pond, and that way it'll be easy for them to get out. That koi is big and fat. She might be pregnant. That'd be kind of cool to have little baby koi fish swimming around this year. We'll have to keep an eye on her. And that is pond maintenance. Took me about a couple hours. A lot of fun. And that's how they sneak away into their koi cave. Follow the leader.